Let's see. Well, that's weird. I'm like tiny on the screen of the tinies. That's a tiny me on a tiny screen. Let's see how it works. It's a class. It's a meeting class. It's a yep. Like I don't know exactly. It is an experience. Yep. All right. So welcome to now. So I'm Jane. For those of you that don't know me, and this is Expansions. So it is the spiritual dimension of wellness. Sorry to have the big in the line of sight, but so thanks for accepting that. And I love this one. I love this one. I love this one. I love expansions. I love expansions so very much because it literally is our time to expand our heart and our consciousness and to do it together. I want to say good morning to Todd, who's joining us here on the interwebs.
Oh,
Todd. And good morning. So I do want to just share a couple things before we begin, because it is the spiritual dimension of wellness that it can have a crossover with different religions and religious beliefs and ideologies. I just want to make sure.
You asking a question?
No. I just want to make sure that we are all in alignment and agreement to be in unconditional love and radical acceptance for all beliefs and all words that are chosen. So if someone uses the word God or goddess or universe or source or nothing or great spirit, that all of the words for the unnameable is honored. And even if there's a belief that the unnameable isn't real and it doesn't exist, that belief is also accepted. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page of radical acceptance for all and all beliefs in this time and space. Cool beans, man. Awesome. My mom's joining us from Southern Indiana. Hopefully it's sunny there because it's not sunny here. I'm really happy to be here, y'all. True story. I've been looking forward to this. So I just want to anchor us in to our bodies and get us all on the same frequency. So take a big, full, deep breath in. Just let it go. Do another breathe in big and full. Release this breath out. Take a giant full breath in. Surrender this breath out. Continue to breathe big and full. Steady, deep, and wide. Become aware of your physical body in this moment. The feeling of being safe, held, seen, welcomed, loved. The gratitude for having shelter, having friends, having community. A deep awareness of your heart, the love that you are, the love that I am, the love that we can create together as a community. Gratitude for this breath that our ancestors breathed, that we are continuing to breathe for the future. Gratitude for this earth for holding us. And gratitude for this next breath in. Breathe in big and full. And let it go. Mm-hmm. All right. So now we're all here. So this morning, I was singing, and it was on repeat the words "Good morning, glory," and it was just over and over again. Good morning, glory. Good morning, glory. Good morning, glory. And it was just like whatever I was singing, and it was over and over again. Good morning, glory. And at first I thought of the plant, right? The flower, the morning glory, the plant that climbs up anywhere and everywhere. And then in the morning, she blooms and blossoms. And then later on in the day, she closes back up. She blooms and blossoms in the sunshine, like, good morning, I'm here. And then she's like, okay, good night. And this is her pattern. So I thought about that first. And then I started to deepen this question about glory. Good morning, glory. And so I want to talk about glory because it's not something that I think we talk about, but yet it's in so many texts. So I even had to look up the word glory. So before we start, I'm curious, what does glory mean to you?
Glory?
Glory. Good morning, Glory.
I put a sentence to it like, she is in her glory, which means she is in her happiness, she's in her joy. She is just in her glory. That's about higher than all that, it's like glory, it's like a king or a queen or whatever, she's happy. He or she.
Thank you for sharing that.
I think like for me it makes like you're fully connected, like I'm in my zone. But like he's glorious, it's like he's fully connected with himself and knowing that he a their person, even if they don't see it, they're in their glory. It's just a bright sign to it. Like when people walk into their glory, I think they walk into their purpose to me.
Thank you for sharing that.
The word celebration comes to mind.
Celebration. Thank you for sharing that. What else we got? Anyone else? When I say the word glory, what does it mean to you? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you think of?
Victorious.
Victorious. Anything else?
Think of like really exaggerated glow. Like can't even really stand.
We say that again.
Like a really exaggerated glow. You can't even really hardly look at it, but you can kind of feel it.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
I think of it, I'll say for myself, my self-worth.
Self-worth. Thank you for that. Anything else?
I feel like glory is not something you can tend to behold. It's just something being. It's like a glow. And you can't hold glory. You are glorious, like an adjective that's describing something or something a moment. This glorious moment. This is a glorious moment for me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like you accomplish all kind of goals, so therefore you will be like triumphant. You know what I'm saying? Because you strive to be all that you can be, and it's working out for you.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
There's no negative connotation around glory. I've never heard it used in a negative way.
Yeah.
You're glorious. Like it's never.
How dare you be so glorious?
Put
Put your glory away.
Jesus is inappropriate.
Dim your glory. I'm so tired of it. Well, and it's interesting because before we kind of began, what we were talking about was the difference between feeling like, so I just walk into a space and I'm tolerated. Like people are just like, okay, yeah, Jane's here. She's going to be like this. Like we'll accept her because we're supposed to. But like, I mean, would I call her if I want to hang out? Would I like, nah, but I'm going to tolerate her presence. And then there's this other space of feeling like I belong, I am welcomed. People actually give a shit. People actually want me here. Hey, and there's this really vast difference between those two feelings, between those two experiences. I think most of us have experienced tolerance wherever we've been at some point in our lives, where people are just tolerating us. And maybe it was when we were unhealthy,
Yeah.
or maybe it was when we got healthy. Maybe it's when we started to speak boundaries, when we started to stand up for ourselves. Maybe we were just tolerated in those moments, right? And to move from a place of being tolerated to a place of being seen in our glory, those are two totally different worlds, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could you imagine you walk into the room and everybody just is like, all right, well, I guess they're here, so I guess we'll tolerate it. And then comparing that to walking into a room and having everyone see you in your glory. To be seen in your glory. Good morning, Glory. Yay, yes, thank you. Yeah.
For me, it's kind of like the difference between having to and wanting to. Like for me, it's always been a thing for me when somebody will tell me they're doing something because they have to. And I always say, well, I'd rather you not if you feel like you have to, but if you want to, that's a different thing for me.
Totally. Yeah, one is just like a heart desire, and the other is like a should, right? Well, I should tolerate this person because I'm supposed to, because I don't want to be an asshole if I don't. I don't want to be the jerk that's being unaccepting or whatever, right? But to be able to be like, no, I see them. I want to see them. I want to help them. I want to be of service. That's a totally different heart field. And that heart field is the thing that's connecting us all, right? So that's why I think glory goes into a lot of spiritual contexts.
This is not to put a downer on it. I'm going to bring it back up. But when I'm tall, it's okay for me to be wherever I go nowadays. I'm accepting, and sometimes they love me. But in my family, I felt like I was tolerated a lot when I was using and so forth. And so you brought it back to that. The thing is I was hard to tolerate with my behavior, and so I can let go of that and not harbor the fact that they didn't tolerate me because they did the best they could. I think love should have overwhelmed all that stuff, but it's what it is. It is what it is, and I'm sure that led to a lot of my heartache and so forth. But I'm through that. I don't want to even bring it up. I have to look at my behavior in all situations.
Yeah. Thanks for speaking to that. For sure. I want to tie back to that.
I was going to say, like, even in today's society, now I'm grateful we're talking about mental health, but I think it's just tolerated. But we glorify the violence, gun violence, but we glorify this misogyny, we glorify, if you look at the TV, we glorify these things, but we just tolerate the conversation about we need to talk about what's going on up here. But we now get to the place where we can't have a conversation, but we can go into a space and talk about this is how I'm feeling. And it's not something I have to hide. And I'm not tolerated for me expressing myself. And I can be appreciated for my feelings and be seen and heard for what I say.
Yeah.
So not everyone's thoughts are necessary and not needed. That's how we grow and see one another. But I hope that we get to a place, I think it's get to a place where we realize that we all need each other. We're all one.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Think about all the times in our lives where some of our unhealthy behaviors were glorified. How many times someone was like, come on, Jane, take another shot.
Always.
And it didn't matter how sick I was or like, oh, he's cute. Go ahead. And I'd be like, the peer pressure and the glorification of peer pressure, the glorification of harm, the glorification of hurting oneself or another. The glorification. And what is glorification? I mean, we all kind of set our own ways of it. It's putting something on high, right? And not like I'm putting someone on a pedestal. I'm seeing them as their higher self. I'm seeing them as their lightest aspect, as their holiness, as their wholeness. I'm seeing them as their purity, as their reality, the true nature of who they are. That is glory to me, like being able to see that no matter what stage someone's in, to be able to see them as amazing, as doing their best,
Right.
as a child of God or as a child of this earth, whatever that is. So here we are, we live in a culture where those things aren't celebrated. Those things aren't actually glorified. We glorify those that can hit people hard on a field and make a goal with a ball. We glorify those that buy up land, right, from humans that need it, and then build big buildings and make a lot of money. We glorify waste we glorify unhealth, I guess, or unwellness, unhealth. That's a word now. Like we glorify so much stuff. And so then I'm curious, how would we ever then know how to see each other's glory if it's not shown to us? Right? If everything I see is a glorification of waste or harm, unwellness, violence, if everything I see is a glorification of that, then how would I even know what glory would feel like?
Like you're trying to get to the truth.
Yeah.
And that takes, I think, concentration to push everything else out. And the truth, of course, the truth is, it just is. And so that's what I would do. But it's all around you, and I agree, and it pisses me off, and that's a problem because I can't do anything about it. But it is amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Is your phone back on silent, please? Okay. That way, yeah, if it rings, you'll be able to see it and you won't have to like have that sound come through.
And again, I know one thing. I think I glorify being numb to things, like don't react to anything. Like we're becoming so desensitized to all the things that we see. So now when George Floyd came, we all became like, listen, these things we see these things become a reality. This is human beings. We have to realize that we all affect each other. And for one time in the world, we all got to witness one thing and we were all affected by it. All over the world, it showed the humanity in human beings. We're humans. Come on, man.
Totally.
What are we teaching these children? Come on, we have got to change.
Right?
Like taking those masks off and saying those masks being vulnerable is a strength, not a weakness.
Yeah.
Change.
Well, I remember when they started having all these school shootings, everybody get to work. Girls, did you see what happened? Oh my God. Now it's like we have so many. Did you hear what happened? No, what happened? I mean, we're like, that's horrible. You turn on the TV and there's these school shootings, restaurant, just, we don't even acknowledge it as much as we used to. We're just getting so lost with that.
And
Mhm.
church shootings.
Church shootings too.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
shoot
We
in
used to
church.
come to work, everybody would hear about it on the news. It'd be the topic. And then now it's like, oh, I didn't hear about that one. Oh, what happened? People don't even, because you're just like numb to it.
Yeah. I mean, and could you imagine if there were, a news channel where they were talking about the glory things?
Oh,
Right.
that'd be wonderful.
Like, could you imagine? News at 6, instead of like what was shot, like, there was a puppy that was saved by a child, and like that empty apartment building that they were trying to rent out apartments for $5,000. Now it's a great housing place for anyone that's not had a home.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, could you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Like healthcare is turning into more of a natural thing so that pharmaceuticals are taking a back seat and starting to actually supply people with healthy things for free. You know what I mean? Like whatever these things are that could that would change everything. Because then we would start to look for the glory.
We should have a little kindergartners and first graders do the news.
Seriously. Yes.
After that
Yes.
time, more on that after that time.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to touch base with Caitlin here, who's online, who's new to this class. So this is Expansions. It's the spiritual dimension of wellness. And right now we're talking about glory. So yeah. So check this out, y'all. So I was like, I need to look up what the word glory means, right? Because I'm curious, because I don't like to have my only knowledge of anything be based on any like a religious text, right? I like give me a lot of text so I can create my own perspective on it. So according to the google.com, so glory can mean an honor, right? It's an honor that can be won by notable achievements. So like, just sit with that for a moment. Take a deep breath on that. Just let that one go. An honor won by notable achievements. And now you might be thinking, well, am I not glorious because I haven't won the award? Have I not done the thing? Did I not get the raise? Did I not achieve that thing? Did I just take my glory away? Or can we realize that what if we've achieved the fact that we've been alive up to this day, that this day we've made it to? I don't know about y'all, but that's an achievement. Not everybody made it to today. So, okay, maybe I am glorious. Okay, maybe I'm in my glory today because I just won this achievement that's really notable. Like, notable achievement, y'all. Here we go. Magnificence or great beauty. Now, how many of us have looked in the mirror and been like, nope, not me, right?
How many of us have what?
Looked in the mirror and thought, I'm not magnificent or a thing of great beauty. And here's the thing about that. We are. Hate to break it to you, but we're all magnificently beautiful. Every last one of us. I don't care what you look like at all. We're all completely beautiful beings. We're all unique. And that to me is its own glory. Like when I look outside and I see a billion different plants out there, from the bushes to the flowers to the trees to the grass to the weeds to the dandelions to the. And they're all magnificently beautiful in their own way. How glorious they all are because they all have a purpose. And it's literally just to add life to this plane of existence. We are that too, right? Like what would make us any different than that?
Jane, if we're all the same, though, we're all the same, but then we're also unique.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's like all the plants are plants.
Okay.
But they're all very different in what they do, what they offer. Some are poisonous to a lot of things, but it still has a purpose. It might just be to feed a bird, and that's a great purpose because it keeps that bird alive, which keeps the whole ecosystem alive. Could be deadly to everybody else, but it's got a purpose. Another definition of glory is praise, worship, and thanksgiving offered to a deity. Good morning. So we'll say praise and thankfulness, right? So praise offered to a deity. When we think of a deity, that's going to be a god, goddess, whatever your higher power is, right? So in some cultures, there are multiple deities. In other cultures, there's just the one and only. They're all right and they're all accepted. So offering praise to that. Why would that be a glory?
Considering it magnificent, considering it worthy, like it's accomplished something to be on the level that it's on, even if you don't understand how we got there.
Yeah. Well, and to offer praise and thanks.
That's what I think. The glory that I offer to my higher power or whatever is the thankfulness, the gratitude for keeping me alive, and just the basics. And so that's because I don't understand. I was raised Catholic. I don't understand worship. It's a bad word for me because because I think we're all so similar and things need to be gentler, and that's what I think glory is.
Gotcha. Thanks for that. Yeah, worship can definitely have a little bit of a stickiness sometimes because we have seen the glorification of the worship of things that are harmful, right? And so for me to reconcile certain things so that I can stay in my fullest spiritual self in practice is what is worship then to me? It's not saying that something is better than, it's offering praise and thanks. It's just praise and thanks. So I could technically be worshiping everyone here because I'm really grateful that you're here.
Right.
I'm so thankful that you're here. I'm praising the fact that you're a living, breathing human being that chose to be here in this reality with me today. Oh my God. And it's not saying that anyone is better than or worse than because of that. But the giving praise to something, a deity. So if we're looking at a deity or a god, goddess, source, great spirit, the wordless wonder, right? Usually in most faiths that is equated to love. In some way, shape, or form, it's usually love or kindness, compassion, peace, whatever those things are. And to give thanks to that is glory.
Mm.
Like, how interesting is that? This was pretty cool. And someone mentioned something like this. Glory is also a luminous ring or halo, especially as depicted around the head of Jesus or a saint. Was it you, Eric, that mentioned this this brightness? Almost can't even like see it. It's so much. It's so bright.
When I think of it, I don't think of the halo part of it. I when I say that, I'm looking more at like inner glow. Like if you've ever felt anybody's presence when they walk in, and it's just like overwhelming. There's nothing particular about them. It's not what they look like, how they dress, or nothing. It's just
Their
something
energy,
about their
good,
energy.
bad.
Yeah, like that's just so. Like you can feel it without your eyes open. You don't have to see them. You can just feel it when they walk into the space.
Right? And let's expand that, because that, I think, then we end up being able to see. Right? For example, we'll say when Kim walks in the room, okay, we all feel her light.
We all what?
Feel her light. We
Her presence.
feel her presence. We feel her light. We feel her love. Like we feel it. $20 says that everyone in here sees a gloriously beautiful woman. We see it with our eyes. Like she's usually glowing. She's usually got this radiance to her. You know, like we see it.
It's like she makes you just want to smile.
Yeah,
Don't have the same.
exactly. So although this inner light, this inner glory, I think that once that is so much honored, when it's honored enough, when it's seen enough, that we end up seeing it outside of ourselves. So then we can start to see our own glory and we start to see it in others even more. So now it's like everybody's glowing a little bit now. Wait, what? Everybody's all beautiful now. What?
Those for us.
They're glorious too.
Let's see, Sam is here and says some forms of worship like evangelical or somewhat cringe, weird. Yes, definitely, I agree. Caitlin would rather be in the class, not feeling the class online. Yes, totally different online and better online than not at all, in my opinion. Plus, I can interact. There was something on here that I wanted to also share, and it was to take great pride or pleasure in. And pride, here we are in Pride Month, right? And there's such a distortion around pride anyway. You don't want to be boastful and be proud because that's too much. You know, the I'm better than you, treat me special, pride. And we see that in many ways. Arrogance. Treat me special. Treat me special. That's not glorious. Conceited, yeah. Special treatment. Selfish, yeah. But then there's this like glory of a pride where it's the recognition almost. Like, to me, the flower has to have some sense of pride to blossom because there's no other reason for it. I mean, granted, it does help life on earth, but it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't. Every flower could just be this plain old like square box that just opens up, let the bees pollinate, close. It could. But there's something to it that's like, yeah, look at me, I'm a purple flower. Yeah. Right? So to me, there's this like natural sense of pride in that. Like it has to be proud to bloom that big, to be fearless enough to be seen in all of its colorful glory. For the flower, for the gardenia to be so potent in the way it smells, you got to be proud of that shit because that is potent. You know, you can't be like, here's my gardenia smell. Pew. You know, I mean, you walk past it and you're like, whoa, I'm hit with that because it is being itself in its righteous, prideful, glorious nature. And it doesn't have to say, look at me, I'm better than.
Right.
Look at me, I'm better than. Treat me special because I'm the best. Make sure that you acknowledge me and tell me how special I am. No, it just is that. And that to me is glory. To me, glory is when we let our inner light and our inner essence, our uniqueness, our realness, our vulnerability, our authenticity, our compassion, our everything that we are, be seen in all of its glory. When I think about that, it just makes me think about when we're naked as kids and they're like, oh, they're in all their glory or something like that, you know, like being naked. And that's just being vulnerable to me. There's no masks. It's just me. And there's a gloriousness to that, in my opinion. There's a really big gloriousness to be able to see someone knowing that they have messed up, knowing that they have done bad things, knowing that they're doing the best they can, knowing that they're different today than they were yesterday, knowing that they know that they'll be different tomorrow than they are today, and they're still going to be present today. There's something inspiring about that. That's the flower that's like, I don't care if it's raining or not. I'm still going to open up. I'm still going to be seen. I may not be noticed today, but I know that there's a purpose for me here. Then to me, that's living in our glory. To know that I can be who I am. I can show up. I can bloom, blossom, whatever those words are. I can be my absolute best me I can be. And no one may ever see that. Then I am the worship of life. I am worshiping life itself. Right? Because then I'm just like, I'm going to show up as life, with life, for life. I don't need another human to tell me that they accept me. I don't need another human to just tolerate me. I don't care. I don't care. I'll go anywhere. And I can be the person that's like the sore thumb, thorn on the plant, annoying. I give zero shits.
You should have texted me.
They can tolerate me all day long because I know that who I am, I'm in my gloriousness. I'm honoring and celebrating that I am life force energy everywhere I go. And sometimes I'm big and blossomy and bloomy and loud, and sometimes I'm a little withdrawn. And all of that is okay and still glorious because it's the nature of who I am. So when I was this morning, take another deep breath and let it go because it just feels good. So this morning when I'm singing Good Morning Glory over and over again, it wouldn't stop. It was like a repeating record. And I was like, where is this coming from? I kind of thought about what if every day was a good morning to the glory of life and that we gave it the acknowledgement. What if every day we woke up like that? Good morning, glory, good morning, glory, good morning, glory. The glory of the life that I am, that I get to live another day, that I get to make new choices, and acknowledging that, then that's a form of worship, right? By definition.
I said one thing that kind of goes back to me, like wanting to walk in the spaces but not appreciating and tolerate. I need to not just tolerate the days that I live, but appreciate every day that I'm given to wake up because I'm living in my purpose. Because my higher power apparently had a purpose. Because, like you said, Not everyone who went to sleep last night woke up this morning. So I'm grateful to be able to wake up and do whatever God has in purpose for me to do. I have to be like, I just like, oh God, I can't be living like that. I gotta be wake up like grateful. I'm grateful to wake up and live out whatever purpose God has intended for me. I can't tolerate the days. I have to appreciate you.
Yeah. So here's a question. When you think about or feel about yourself, where do you feel or see or experience or sense your own glory?
Yeah, I look in the mirror.
Your reflection. Love that. Thank you.
What was that question?
When you think about yourself in whatever way, where do you see or experience your own glory?
I experience it right here.
Will you expand on that?
Well, when I'm thinking spiritually, or when you said think of your glory, and I do some things like you're a good person, it all is in here and emanates from there.
So you feel it internally and then you feel it move around?
Yes, definitely move around, and I concentrate on imagining myself as I was when I was about 13 or 14, when I was pretty innocent and hadn't been exposed to drugs and alcohol. And so I envisioned that because I was a pretty good girl then, and I'm getting much better. I can say I love myself, which is really good.
That's awesome. Remind me to go back to your sensation, okay? Yeah.
I see mine in my writings. Like that's the only times I can actually see myself and appreciate myself.
And when Dawn and Mr.
In my writings, like when I write and then I go back and read it, that's when I appreciate myself. You know, trying to get right outside, but that's my place.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah.
What comes to mind is some of my accomplishments in the past, like putting myself through college and graduate school. I got no help from my family. I worked, I took loans, I got through. And now I'm a homeowner very successfully. So that's what comes to mind. Just
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. What else?
I'm in my glory when I'm in places like this, but I have to learn how to take the person that I am here everywhere. I may feel comfortable being my full self here, but I don't care what people see outside of space, but I gotta be okay showing this person here everywhere. I'm learning to do that. Even my family, talk and connecting to people, that's when I'm in my glory. When I'm having a human interaction with someone, I absolutely love it. It's so rare now. Like every time you have the phone, like, oh God, put it down. Like now I'm grateful we have this here when we don't have technology. It's just human conversation and interaction and experiences.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. Who else? When you feel or think about yourself, where do you see your glory? Yeah.
I see my glory in the change that I've made for myself. Because if I knew what I knew then, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I would have did what I did
Mm-hmm.
or picked up. Because I had a rocky one. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like I you know, in myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
In myself.
Thank you for sharing that and speaking to that. Anyone else want to share where you see your own glory?
Looking back at then and now. You know, past accomplishments, person that you became today, or became, come to, you know. reflection of self,
Mm.
evolution of self. That's come I said then and now. You know, I'm not in the best place I would be, but the place that I am, mentally, physically, spiritually, it sits right with me.
It's pretty
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Pretty okay. Thank you for speaking to that.
Where do you find yourself in glory? Where's your glory place?
Love calls.
Mm. It's interesting because I can't put it into words, but when I feel into it, it makes me cry. So that I don't have words for it, but when I choose to tap into my gloriousness, I just feel it. And it feels like, I don't know, like love. So thanks for asking. When I think about us humans, how we have this ability to think about these things, to allow ourselves to just think about it, is a gift. Because although the flower that's out there blooming is glorious in its own nature, it doesn't know it. It just is that. It doesn't know it. It'll never know its beauty. It'll never know its purpose. It'll never know its gift. It'll never know how much color it adds to the world. It'll never know it. It is it, but it'll never know it. And I feel like we have this gift to acknowledge our own glory, and not from a I'm better than, but just I am. I am my own unique expression of life, and what a glorious gift that is. When we feel it, Robin mentioned that she feels it in her body. What if this glorious nature that we all are is our heart? We all have different forms of our own gloriousness, but we'll just, for sake of conversation, say that we all individually and collectively have our own glorious little gift, and it is our own glorious little heart. This heart that can love so big, that can forgive, that can heal, that can connect with everything ever. That what if our gloriousness is our heart? No one can see that. No one can see Kim's heart. She keeps it underneath her chest bone. She's not like, here's my heart, right? But we all have that glorious nature within us. So what if we just imagined that, or I guess brought awareness to that? Like, oh shit, my gloriousness is my heart. Okay. And then what if we start to allow ourselves to feel that? So let's just do that just for a second. So take a big breath in and just let it go. And start to become aware of your heart. Maybe you feel it beating in your chest. You feel your breath flowing in and out. And what if you start to see, sense, feel, or imagine a light from the very, very, very center of your heart, and it starts to emanate and shine out in all directions. And this energy from the center of your heart, this infinite well of love, fills up your entire torso. Allow yourself to feel this. Allow yourself to imagine this. That this light is filling up your lungs. It's moving down your arms, down your legs, up your throat, in your whole entire head. And now hold this vision Keep breathing and imagine yourself being filled with this entire radiant light of your glorious heart. And now imagine it shining out of you like you are made of light, and it's shooting out in all directions. Maybe it's a white light, maybe it's pink, maybe it's blue, maybe it's all the colors of the rainbow. But just imagine this light coming out of you from all directions. And this is the glory of you that others can maybe now see or feel. That this light from your heart emanating out from every bit of you is your glorious nature. It doesn't mean you're any different. You have to be different. It's just letting your truth be seen. Take a deep breath in and let it go. So what if that's the way we just remember our glory? What if that's it?
What?
What if that's the way we remember our glory and that's it? How much easier life would be, right? And then wouldn't we be able to see it in each other?
Yeah.
We would be able to shine it everywhere we go. We'd be able to be ourselves wherever we go, whether we're just accepted or we're tolerated or we're embraced, whether we're honored or shamed. That we could still be in our glorious nature of who we are, because we all know where we've come from. We all have something to celebrate. We've come a long way. We've made it through this life experience so far, so good. Are we exactly where we would want to be? Maybe, maybe not. Do we always want something more and better? Yeah, usually. That's our human nature. The flower doesn't blossom, the morning glory doesn't blossom once and go, all right, I'm done. She keeps it up for her whole season of life. So that's what we're doing. We're just blossoming in our glory. You know, we're now in the summer officially. Yesterday was the summer solstice. So that means that the amount of light in the day will be less and less. So what if we get to shine our lights? We get to stand in our glory. We get to be the radiant beings on this earth. We get to show the world what love looks like, shining out from us through our smiles, through our tears, through our presence. And that's all we have to do. What if that's it? We don't have to do anything else. We get to see it in our reflections. We get to feel it in our bodies. We get to witness it in what we create. We get to see it in others. So my invitation, my prayer is to always see our own glory. Always see our wholeness, our holiness, our light, our essence. To always see that within ourselves and not rely on anyone else to see it for us, to validate it to be true. But to know that it is truth, because it is life. My prayer is that we always see that in ourselves. Because I know for a fact that if we see that in ourselves, we'll see that in others, and others will see that in us. And I think that that's what needs to be glorified, is the true divinity in all of us on this earth plane. The magic, the wonder, the fun, the weirdness, all of it. So that's my prayer for glory on this earth. So yeah. So I want to close on that. And if we could all just take a deep breath in together. Just let it go. So this is my last offering at PRN for quite some time. I'm flying out Tuesday for Central America for at least 3 months, maybe longer. I'm not
Where
sure.
in Central America you going?
I'll be in Costa Rica for a while.
You're a bit close to my father's birth.
Oh yeah. So,
My birth father was born in
so it means a lot to me that y'all were here today.
What are you doing there?
I'm gonna go on a spiritual pilgrimage of trust and faith. Yeah. Expansions.
All both.
Hold on just a second.
Take over the show, please.
Do what?
I said, I would like Bill, he can take hold with you. Show
Okay,
me the-
yeah. Field trip.
I'll just be in the suitcase. I don't need much.
Right.
I'll just hold my breath. You may have to poke me when you wake up.
Right.
Wake up, please, come back to us, come back to us, come back
How
to us.
big is your group that you're going with?
It's just me.
That's what-
Yeah. I'm holding a retreat the first week of July, in the jungle, and then after that, I'm just me on my own.
Where will you be? Tell me.
Somewhere in Costa Rica. I don't have anything specific booked yet for a place.
It'll show up. I just want you to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, I definitely will be safe. I know that. I know that I'm divinely guided and protected always. I know that.
Have you been there before?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to come back looking my.
I know. I'm gonna be so brown. My hair's gonna get so light and my skin's gonna get so brown. I'm so excited. I'm so curious what I'm gonna look like. EXPANS. SIONS. So instead of a T, it's an S. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, online. Awesome.
It has been wonderful to have you in for my, and maybe we'll meet again in my life for the time that we've been here. You've altered my life. You've changed my thinking. You've loved me during the worst of times and the best of times. And I just want you to know what a big part of you is in me.
Thanks, sister.
Jay, you should,
Likewise.
you should do Colgate commercials. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Because your teeth is so beautiful.
Her bright. Can you turn your shine?
I make my own I make my own toothpaste, y'all. I don't use fluoride. I don't use any of that stuff. I make my own toothpaste. Yeah, I don't use fluoride or any of that. Yeah. Mhm. It's like coconut oil, bentonite clay, and baking soda and a little water. Yep.
Because
I love you too, Mom.
I'm big on baking soda.
It's so good. It's got a weird taste, but it's good. Thank you all online. Keep posted and keep tuning in because I will still be airing some things online. So some of them will be pre-recorded. So please keep online, keep your comments coming, keep sharing, keep donating, keep all the things. So know that you all are also super appreciated for being on the online realm. So send and love y'all. Peace.